Obama has an opinion. Look, Tom, I want to pose this question directly to Tom. He has avoided this question on the websites, never answered it. He won't even touch it. I am still posing this to him. Tom, on what authority? I want to assume, let's assume there is no God. Let's just assume for the sake of argument, okay? On what authority do you justify that your cause is right and the New World Order's cause is wrong, or Obama's cause is wrong, or anybody else that you claim is your enemy? Why are you right and they wrong? Please answer that question. I would like to know. Okay, but continuing here, he says that these individual rights cannot be taken away by any power on earth. Well, yes, they can. Okay, these people have power, but they don't have any authority if it's by God. But if there is no God, then why wouldn't they have an authority if they have all the power? There's really a strong argument against this, Tom. Then, let's see here. Oh gosh, this is the one I really wanted to cover, because he covers, now I have to agree with Tom here, he says something that's true. The Declaration of Independence gives three different definitions to, not three definitions, but three types of rights. They say these rights include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Tom said it is vitally important to be able to determine the meaning of these. Tom, I agree. But here he begins with the first one. He defines the right to life in three short sentences. I'm going to read these carefully, and I want you as an audience to listen very carefully to what he does. This is absolutely atrocious. Now listen to this. The right to life is pretty easy to understand, period. Okay? So, I agree. The right to life is pretty easy to understand from the perspective of God. But let's see what Tom Mullens goes on to say. So that's sentence number one. Sentence number two. He says, most civilized societies have... Now stop right there before we even finish it. Tom Mullens, Tom, I want to say this to you directly. You need to understand that you cannot argue it from majority opinion. Majority opinion means nothing in any argument, okay? The majority for a long time thought the earth was flat. The majority taught that big rocks fall faster than little rocks, and that's not true. They taught that if you take your blood out, you get better, and that's not true, okay? The majority taught many things over many different subjects for many, many years, over subjects that were completely not true. Majority opinion proves nothing in any argument, and you ought to be able to understand that concept before you are able to write a book at all. But right here you're arguing for majority opinion. You say most civilized societies have laws against murder. That is a correct statement. But you are using that as the justification for your conclusion here, which is sentence number 3. Everybody listen to this. Each individual has a right not to be killed. If you were to do this, let me translate this. I'm going to add the word therefore in there, because that's how he has started and concluded this. So I'm going to read this again. Listen to this. Most civilized societies have laws against murder. Therefore, each individual has a right not to be killed. He is arguing for majority opinion. He just sits here and he spends a long time, arguing against democracy logically and correctly. But then he turns around and he's using this democratic process to justify why you have a right to life. Right after he says each individual has a right not to be killed, he goes, so far so good. So what about the other two? He's just like, oh, okay, that's done, move on. Why would Tom not want to discuss this? Why would he not even write about it? This seems extremely ignorant and awfully suspicious why he wouldn't go into this. That's because he knows full well, as anybody else knows, you cannot justify murder. How can you justify abortion? Without, with a creator, you cannot possibly justify abortion. You have to get rid of a creator and try to explain it in evolutionary terms. Because why, somebody says, well, murdering's wrong, just like, Tom Mullens says, most civilized societies say it's wrong, so it's wrong. And I say, Tom, why? Who says it's wrong? We'll say, well, most civilized societies. I said, so? Does that mean they're right? What if they're wrong? Couldn't they be wrong? What if somebody else says most civilized societies don't have laws against murder? Or what happens when let's say a bunch of societies decide to not have laws against murder? Would then murder be okay? Well, you see, arguing for majority opinion doesn't mean anything. Again, so without God, you must have God to say God gives the right to life, and no man has any authority to take it away. That would be the argument against there. So, he goes on to talk about, these different things of liberty and all this stuff and how we can find the answers in Locke and find the answers in Locke. Well, he always quotes the wrong things from Locke, and if he quotes them, he's not doing it properly. He's not quoting all of what Locke said. And deliberately, I think, but like I promised at the beginning, I'm going to stay and remain that Tom Mullens is probably ignorant and he just needs educated. So hopefully this is going to help educate him. This is going to be the first part. We're going to have to go into a lot more. I have an awful lot of marks in here on just the next 3 pages. His first chapter is only 10 pages. We've gone over about 5 pages. We've got a lot more to go through. And I believe that I'm going to be able to sum this up later as many of his other chapters go into property rights and things like that. Many of the things that he'll say in there are correct. But his principle, his opening remarks are absolutely wrong, and these are what are most vital. You can't screw these up. So this will be part 1. I will continue and post part 2 as soon as I get done with it, but it's been, a while I've been talking now. I'm running out of voice, so I'm going to have to cut it off for now, and we'll continue on with that later. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you soon.